Harlan!
Getting ready to sit down with us.
He's not here right now.
Can he call in? Is there any way he can call in?
I mean, we can't. We could try. We could try.
I love that guy.
He's a little preoccupied with Jerry Rice at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's why he left. He said, I got to go talk to
You want to do
Jerry.
our own version though?
Of who?
Well, I'm Derek Papa. I'm his son. If you want to do Papa, and I'll do.
You know what? You are his son.
I am his son.
You
yes.
sound like him.
Yeah, kind of.
Why did he let you get in this business?
I don't know. I don't know.
Kevin Harlan.
Harlan!
Papa!
Normally on Greg's show, but joined us on Dirty Work here. Just got in from Phoenix.
Yeah, called your Dubs with a nice win last night.
How was that
20-5
game?
run. It was terrific.
Not bad for no Steph and no Devin Booker, huh?
I know. Like it's a game of stars. And when we found out, Steve comes in the meeting room and says, yeah, Curry's not going, probably won't go tomorrow.
Right.
And Booker's not playing. He's missed like 6 games in a row. League has got to figure this out. You cannot continue to sell tickets. Now listen, the basketball was great. It was a terrific win. Everything about the game was fun. But you're there to see the stars. Yeah. And you think about the people that spend that money, the parking, the eating, the tickets, the time out of their schedule to go down. And, it's not, there's nothing really easy about it. And you want to see the stars. And the league has got to figure this out. Curry kind of gets a pass, clearly, because of his monumental accomplishments and championship pedigree and everything that he's done. But Booker is always you've got to play. You've got to play. So cut the schedule, give him more practice time, more healing time, more chance to rejuvenate and get the fresh legs and play. But all that being said, the game is the game, and it's the NBA, and those kids were trying so hard last night, kids that don't play that much, and it was a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
It really was. It was very enjoyable. Yeah.
So what do you make of the move? I know he didn't play last night. We'll see if he joins the team this weekend. What do you think about Kristaps Porzingis joining the Warriors?
I like it. I think it's the first step in what are going to be more. I just sense that number one on their mind is to figure out his health, right?
Yeah.
And he's had some history. And there are a couple things that are concerning, but I think they have so much confidence in their athletic training staff, their medical staff, and the wonderful medical facilities around the Bay Area that they are gonna figure it out with the right kind of evaluation. And they've always liked him. I did sense that. They've always liked him. He fits right into their scheme, but I also sense like he's step one of maybe like 3 or 4 steps coming up, and most of them will probably clearly happen after the season, and we'll see what happens there. But I admire him so much, trying to get every last ounce out of this group, and sometimes you've got to make kind of a bold move, and the Kuminga thing wasn't working. The drama there with him is gone. Losing Butler was just the gut punch.
Devastating.
Devastating. Great word to use. So I love doing their games, and they're 4 games over 500, kind of surprisingly.
Yeah.
Talking to Kevin Harlan here. I was on the call last night for the Niners.
You guys didn't have to travel.
Warriors.
You're home.
No,
You're home.
It's
How
easy.
great is this?
Fantastic.
This is wonderful. You sound like your dad. Man, oh, man.
Stop that.
Man, oh, man. And you're better looking than your dad,
thank
too.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I can say that.
Kevin Harlan with us. He'll be on the call, by the way, Sunday, Westwood 1 for the Super Bowl, and we'll have it right here on KNBR at 3:30. Can you make a case for the Patriots in this one?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Because defense is, I think, going to be the headline of this. I think it feels like a defensive game. Both are terrific, and I'm watching explosive plays. I'm not a big stat guy. I'm not a big analytics guy, but the top 4 teams in explosive plays and explosive plays allowed. In other words, what your offense produces, runs of 12 or more and pass completions of 16 or more, and then what the defense gives up in that regard. The number 1 team in the league was Seattle. The number 2 team in the league was New England. Number 3 team was Denver, and then the Rams. So like the final 4 teams, that was one, and number 4 and 5 was Green Bay. Like these that is a pretty good indicator as you're going through the game. What's going to happen, what direction it could go. I don't know that New England has got the offensive firepower to match Smith and Jigba. And some of the things that Seattle has. I do think these defenses are ripe in preparing for stopping these explosive plays. And so that's going to put Darnold, I think, in an interesting position. And I'm anxious to see how he handles the pressure. No team blitzes more than New England's D. Seattle has got some wonderful defensive players themselves. So low scoring, 2017 maybe, but I couldn't pick a winner. We can talk turnovers, we can talk all those things. They all play into it, but I think it's good. We don't have the star power, but I'm fine with that. These are the two best teams. Seattle probably the best team in pro football.
Agreed.
No, I would agree. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this your 16th consecutive Super Bowl?
16th in a row and 17th overall.
So what does that mean to you as far as like calling Super Bowls in your career?
Well, you grew up in a house where big games meant a lot, and this business is you're thankful for every assignment you get, but when you get this assignment, it stands out clearly. This is a tentpole experience. I think about all the broadcasters that sat in that chair calling that big game for a worldwide audience, and Jack Buck and Marv Albert and Don Criqui and Lindsey Nelson and Jim Simpson. I mean, we stand on their shoulders. And so there's definitely, when they're singing that national anthem and we're getting ready to call the game, there's a moment of pause thinking, how fortunate have I been to find a profession that I still love as much as when I first discovered it when I was about 11 or 12 years old. I'm 65 now, about the age of your dad, and I'm sure he feels the same way. Just to call these games, to be in that seat, to have that responsibility, and to do something you love is something that you cannot put a price tag on. So I feel lucky every time I put the headset on, like I am with you, and meeting you guys. I think we've crossed paths before.
Yep.
But you know, having a chance to be on gigantic, well-known stations like KNBR, no, this is. I'm living a dream every time I broadcast this game.
It's a great Kevin Harlan with us. He'll be on the call for Super Bowl 60 tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Sunday at 3:30 from Levi Stadium, and you can hear it right here on The Sports Leader. So you're 17th overall. Do you have a moment that as a broadcaster was the most special to call?
You know, all of them have been great.
Walk-off,
Yeah.
I mean, anything.
Yeah, no. I mean,
comes to mind?
the two Niner Super Bowl appearances have been great. Didn't turn out the right way for them.
Overtime walk-off win. Yeah,
right.
incredible.
I mean, come on. I mean, great games. And probably the Malcolm Butler interception at the goal line because it was such a dramatic. It was probably one of the top 5 or 6 moments, individual plays in Super Bowl history. I was there for that. The Brady comeback from being down 28-3 against Atlanta and Matt Ryan in that Super Bowl.
That's overtime too.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The Niner things have been great. I was the former voice of the Kansas City Chiefs for 9 years, so clearly calling their first Super Bowl championship in 50 years was a big deal. But they've all had some wonderful place in my memory getting to do it. And you know, good game, bad game, it doesn't matter. Being on that call for that big a game it's everything that any sportscaster could ever want in their career. And I've had a chance now. It will be my 16th time on radio this coming Sunday. So I'm just so thankful. And I never really think about who do I think is going to win. How could the game go? I've done a Seattle demolition of Manning and the Denver Broncos in the Meadowlands. And then done the thrillers with the Niners. So I've done everything in between and enjoy all of them.
By the way, the Malcolm Butler play, we were just talking about that. Who was it that made the catch for Seattle right before on the sideline?
Curse.
He's kicking the ball into.
And by the way, had they gone in and scored with however they would have gone in, whether giving it to the Beast or whatever, Beast mode, that play may have been one of the greatest plays of all time, but it's forgotten.
It's not talked about enough.
It's completely forgotten. Right,
He's
exactly.
on his back. It's kicked into the air.
I know it. He's reeling it in like it's so improbable. And here's the thing: our radio position for that game was in the end zone, in the corner of the end zone, and fairly low. So our vantage point was bad. And a lot of the game had taken place at the other end of the field, and you're just hoping to God you get the right guy. And all that happened. The Butler thing, the catch, all right in front of us.
Right down in the corner.
Right there, right in front of us. So we were very, very fortunate with those big plays to be in that position.
Well, Kevin, let me just say, I meant when I said when you came in, you were one of the best broadcasters I've ever heard in my lifetime.
Yeah, man.
You know how to capture.
Sure, nice.
You
to say that.
definitely know how to capture
Thank
a
you.
moment, and I
Thank
love one of my favorite things about you is your goofy side. When guys run on the field,
The cat.
the black cat, some of your reads. What is about it sometimes where you just want to let loose and be a little goofy on the mic?
I'm probably too comfortable, and my wife always gets on me. Say, you've got to buckle it up here a little bit. You got to, you're a professional. This is your profession.
Right.
Don't be screwing around. And I can't help myself. My dad is kind of like that. I've got that, and it's more of a comfort level, I think, more than anything else. When you're comfortable doing something and relaxed, some of those moments, it's like talking to you guys right now. We're here just visiting and shooting the breeze, and I guess and never minimize who you're working with. Kind of egging you on,
right?
And that's Kurt Warner. Like, and it was before him, Boomer Esiason. Like these guys, they know there's like that sliver of a little bit. You can kind of step out of the shadow a little bit here and kind of get off on the ramp, but they kind of coax it out of you a little bit. So they're as responsible as I am. They may not have the voice during the moment, but they're right there. But when I was in Minnesota doing the Timberwolves, there were so many god-awful seasons before Garnett got there. Like they'd win 14, 15 games.
Oh, yeah.
We would make stuff up and joke around, and probably a lot of it comes from that.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's great to be on with you. Thank you for your kind words.
Of course.
I love your dad.
Yep.
I love your dad, and think about him often.
Thank
And
you.
he's got my prayers, and I've told him that, and he knows that. And I'm rooting for him. We all are. He is such a our careers have paralleled each other.
Yeah.
We got in the league about the same time. We're
Yep.
about the same age, and I love that guy. Just love him.
Well, thank you for saying
it's,
that.
It's a pleasure to have you, man, and to borrow you from Papa one time when he's out taking care of stuff. Kevin Harlan will be on the call on Sunday right here on the Sports Leader. Thanks so much,
Thank you,
Kevin.
Kevin.
You are the sports leader. I
We
would
are.
totally agree. Thanks for having me. Great to see both of you.
We got plenty more to come from Radio Row. Dirty Work rolls on a Friday on the Sports Leader. Great to meet you.